Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie, going to be a first in our spooktacular for October, The Frighteners. Now, fellas, what do you think of a movie that's pre-Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson?
Well, I've seen Meet the Feebles.
Oh, fuck.
I have also seen at least one pre-Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson film. Now I've seen two. This one's different than what I expected, I'll tell you that.
I was actually thinking about that while watching. Like, if I could sum this movie up in one word, what would it be? I'm going to say kooky.
I would go with just the word Elfman.
Yep, the score was done by Danny Elfman. Thank God, because I don't know. No, I'm not going to say that. There's a lot of things to like about this movie. It's just some of them don't belong in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it does unfortunately suffer from like 90s syndrome, especially when it comes to some of the special effects.
Oh, God.
But Rick Baker worked on this movie, and the practical stuff is fucking stellar.
Yeah, the judge is really cool, other than like the blue hue and the transparency.
Let me tell you something right off the bat. The Frighteners, I did not know that this was something other than just like a straightforward horror movie. Honestly, I kind of remembered in my head that maybe this was written by Stephen King or based on a Stephen King book. It is totally not. So I just walked into the wrong fucking bar here.
I think this movie was the first like big budget Peter Jackson movie, like after he moved from like New Zealand or whatever. Because like,
I think it would have to be.
Yeah, because like the opening credits roll, and I'm just like, a lot of things are opening up, right? Like it's produced by Robert Zemeckis, who directed the Back to the Future trilogy, and somehow Michael J. Fox wound up in this movie. So I'm just thinking, like, man, Peter Jackson got thrown a hell of a bone.
Also, there's a character in this that I had to look it up to make sure that it wasn't the same guy that played Biff, and it's not. But he looks and acts a whole lot like him.
Yeah, the runny guy, that piece of shit.
I just kept laughing because as I took my notes of everything that Michael J. Fox did, I just wrote Teen Wolf instead of his name.
I just got it down as MJF. I didn't want to write any more letters than I needed to.
Dude, well, Amber had me. She was like, "Oh man, is that Michael J. Fox? The past, the present, the Parkinsons."
Oh,
ooh, the 3 Ps. Well, to kind of get the beginning of the plot out of the way or whatever, Michael J. Fox, he's just like a paranormal investigator, but he's a bit of a charlatan.
Yeah, like he is a real paranormal investigator or whatever he is. He has connections to the paranormal, but he plays it up like he's a con man, which I don't really understand. Like, I guess you kind of have to. You can't go around telling people, hey, I can actually see the ghouls.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I brought up with the missus. Like, one thing that kind of agitated me, because like he has cornered this fucking business, but he runs around town like a schlub, and he just looks and acts like a piece of garbage, and people are just like, hey, you're a piece of garbage. He's like, I don't know about that.
Dude, I was shook because he can talk.
You're not the only one.
Touch. Oh, no. Oh. So it blew my mind to think that Michael J. Fox can interact with, talk to, he can touch them, and he can relay this to people. He can show them that they're real. Ghosts can show them anytime they want that they're real, and everyone's like, get out of here, you lying bastard, even though that can pick up things and move it. Like, fuck, he could write his name on the wall if he wanted him to. It's nonsense.
Dude, case in point, when that haunting was set up with that dude's place, the guy who ran, the guy who got his fence knocked over, pots and pans are literally flying around him. He's like, oh, this is all bullshit. There has to be a reasonable explanation for all this.
Well, I don't see that this is anything that the police can't handle.
Get on the ground, Potts! Get on the ground!
Yeah.
Can we discuss this opening scene, though? The Danny Elfman music is thumping, right? Yeah. And then got Aladdin's carpet, if it was CGI'd from The Mummy 2, attacking the mom from Critters, and Meemaw has to come out and blast it with a shot.
By the way, Meemaw, I'm pretty sure is like just the female version of Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Yes.
I mean, the scene was set up almost perfectly, but like to the movie's folly, man, the CGI is just so fucking laughable.
Like, I don't want to call it bad because at its time it probably wasn't bad, but when you look back on it, you're like, man, We've come a long way.
Oh man,
Yes.
I don't know, man. Like it was made in '96 or something.
Now, there is a time later on, much later on, where I can look at it and say, I don't know what's going on here because the CGI is so bad. But in this opening scene, like the opening portions, I'm completely fine with it. I think it looks spooky, and I don't think it's too awful different than like Stranger Things, the same effect that they have on Stranger Things, where you're, pushing hands and faces through the ceiling and the walls and things like that.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, there's a scene in the original Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy presses his face against the wall. And it's just like, it looks like a wall, but it's actually fabric, and it's just Robert Englund pressing his face in.
Mhm.
That's fucking cool. This is like, you ever see that like Saturday morning cartoon called Reboot?
Yes.
It's that.
I remember it exists, but I don't remember anything about it.
Fucking,
What about Beast Wars, Transformers? It's very similar.
Oh, Beast. Yeah.
Is it anything like VR Troopers or Beetleborgs?
It was Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs.
Yeah, and like the dude was totally not Beetlejuice, right?
Flabber. He was like Elvis.
Big bad Beetleborg. Yeah.
He started, man. I remember that shit. But anyways, back to this fucking movie. You're talking about that CGI being bad, and when it comes to like the ghosts, whenever you see one of the ghosts, they look amazing in comparison to this CGI.
Agreed.
The whole reason that we're actually looking at this house, by the way, I think what we're doing is like there's a lady who is she a doctor or a nurse practitioner or something like that? She's making a house call to a daughter, and there's the old lady who, as we mentioned, is probably just the female version of Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Yes.
Well, the daughter, who is like a grown-ass woman, has like a cut on her hand and a neck wound and stuff like that. Don't really know where it came from, but that's our introduction to all of this.
Dracula did it.
The movie tries to do that whole red herring thing where like, oh, this lady's in distress. She got hurt by a poltergeist. And then like the person taking care of her is like clearly suspicious. So it's definitely the old lady and not the young lady.
Yeah, and the old lady like gives it to her straight, or as straight as we think that it is. You don't know who my daughter is. I could have had her locked up anytime. She was an accessory or something like that. It was cold-blooded murder. And you just think, this old lady's batshit crazy. I should leave.
But she straight told her from the get, hey, my daughter's a murderer. I should have her locked up, but she's my...
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I guess she said that she was an accessory after the fact, as opposed to saying that she was a murderer. So she just got moved to accessory rather than, I don't know. I'm thinking her crime got downgraded.
I guess, but she didn't really win any points by like carrying herself as like the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yes.
I get somewhere between Mom from Futurama and like any character that Cloris Leachman has ever played.
Now, not Julia Louis-Dreyfus is there, and we get like a flashback, some nonsense to teach you, I guess, some of the prior plot where Jake Busey is basically Mickey Knox from Natural Born Killers, and he's out here killing people for notoriety.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the big fat dude from Oh Brother Art Thou, just like robbing banks just for the hell of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think robbing banks for the hell of it, you get a little bit more out of it than, I don't know, killing people. I could be wrong.
Well,
Never
he did
killed a person yet, but I have robbed a bank. And from that, I got money.
I like that you said yet.
Just for liability purposes, I have not actually robbed a bank.
And cut.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this other serial killer, Charles Starkweather, that gets mentioned. He murdered 13 people. Bartlett, the guy in question, Jake Busey, also Jake Busey's teeth, only murdered 12 people so far.
Well, no, the previous record was 11, and Jake Busey's was 12.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
correct.
Numbers are numbers. They don't matter.
Well, 13's important because Michael J. Fox's, I guess, ex-wife now, she was the 13th victim, and we'll find that out later on.
The 13th ghost, in fact. Now, Elaine learns all this the same way we do. A History Channel expose on Gary Busey or Jake Busey's teeth.
When do the aliens come in?
At the end, she
okay.
she got distracted by the ghost. Right?
There we go.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that girl was like the boyfriend or husband, I don't know, of the guy that he met earlier. He like comes down from the cemetery in his fucking 1960s jalopy with no brakes and just storms through the fence of this guy's yard, runs all the way through the yard, messes everything up. Is it a coincidence that they are living in the same house?
So Michael J. Fox, being the piece of shit that he is, he was passing out his like psycho whatever cards at a funeral, and he leaves this place, right? He drives and arrives at this place like I drive and arrive at an objective in GTA. What the fuck?
Well, I just thought it was like a combination of no brakes and no power steering that has him like all over the place.
Dude, he was not paying attention to anything in front of him. He's like, oh, I got all this mail. Wow, there's so much mail.
To his credit, there are ghosts in his trunk.
There are, and this is, it's the tone of this movie. Now,
Yeah.
I fucking lost it. I can honestly say I smirked through the majority of this film, but I fucking lost it one time, and that's whenever the ghosts are haunting the house, and you see all these things floating around, and it lets you know that, hey, it's the friendly ghost. They're just doing this for Michael J. Fox, whatever. And then it cuts to a bit in the floor with a Raggedy Ann doll attacking him.
Yep.
And I lost my shit because I could just picture the ghost down there on the floor like, with the fucking hand.
Well, what's also great about that is that that was also taken in the same like alert level as everything else. Like, oh shit, a floating bed. Oh my god, our pots and pans. A fucking doll. Shit.
Now, the part that got me was the Elvis statue gets up and starts like dooting across like through the air, and Homeboy's just like, he's alive.
Clearly, that was on like a fishing wire or something. They're just like, whatever. He's just like floated across the screen.
It shows the ghost having to use their hands. So one object, potentially two per hand. And we are shown in just a moment like 30 objects floating around this man. What are they doing? Can you sprout extra hands as a ghost?
Or else I've got nothing to look forward to, right?
I mean, if Lee Army can like sprout like riot armor in the middle of a fucking cemetery, whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but you mentioned something about the tone earlier. That's probably the biggest thing about this movie that is, okay, I thought coming into this movie, this was just a straightforward horror movie, and kind of by the end, that's what it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
But early on, like through all of this section, really up till about, I don't know, an hour in, this might as well be Beetlejuice or Ghostbusters or something like that. It's got definitely a comedic tone to it.
Okay, I'll give it that. It's not quite as interesting as those two movies you mentioned, but it has this like Peter Jackson flavor. Like if you've ever seen Bad Taste or Meet the Feebles, anything like that, like this is definitely in that like wonky, silly wheelhouse.
Yeah, again, like at a certain point, it just kind of turns the corner, and like it doesn't completely dry out of like little comedic little hits, but it gets a lot more serious and a lot darker real quick.
Yeah, it does. It's actually kind of a bummer because like the movie, whenever it finally like gets the whole like backstory of Michael J. Fox out of the way, you're just like, oh man.
I just feel like they didn't know for sure if they wanted this to be a comedy or a horror, because it almost is the same thing that the Sanderson sisters, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it almost does like that vibe to where the comedy is so over the top goofy and there's like a serious story underneath, which is weird vibe for me.
Yeah, I'll go out on a little limb right here. If they toned some of that shit down, like some of the horror elements toward the end, and cleaned up some of the language, because it does get a little bit salty here and there, this could be like a hit PG-13 movie.
Yeah, I'll definitely lean towards the PG-13 and just, it's a Hocus Pocus for boys.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Like, while you were going at that, I was kind of thinking, like, man, this would be a prime example of a movie that could be remade. Maybe by, like, Edgar Wright or something. Put fucking Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it or something.
Yeah, all right.
That could be all right.
Okay, Simon Pegg, I assume, is going to be... you're talking about as the ghosts?
I would want them as the ghosts. That way.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Well, I would put Simon Pegg in Michael J. Fox's place and Nick Frost as the ghost, for sure.
What about like those two as the ghost and like a Martin Freeman in Michael J. Fox's spot?
Martin Freeman is a person.
All right, so we do find out from this that Michael J. Fox does have ghost friends. Like that's the thing. He can see ghosts. He has friends. They are ghosts, and he's got like a crew of them. Like 6 or 7? They were roommates.
He's got a ghost dog, and it's eating fucking Gomez's Adam's chin.
Yeah, it's super fucking cute. Like, I know it's like a gross fucking dead dog ghost or whatever, but like, he's just rooting around the house being silly.
I actually didn't realize, like, I remember old Cowboy Ghost had lost his jawbone. I didn't realize that that was the same jawbone that the dog was chewing on at the beginning.
The judge, the hanging judge, dude, he's got the lines.
Well, like, they don't really all land, so it just seems to me like he's trying, like, honestly, a lot of these characters seems like they're trying for those one-liners a little bit too hard to me.
I'm okay with that. I enjoyed like the awkwardness afterwards for whatever reason. Usually it kind of pisses me off. I was just like, haha, that's not funny, but it kind of is.
Yeah, frightening is an old man's game. Death ain't no way to make a living. Too many skeletons in the closet. Like, what? You pick one.
Well, I mean, the fact that he got all red hot about a lady mummy, and then in the middle of everything, it's like, they don't call me the hanging judge for nothing. Before he fucking goes to town on a sarcophagus.
He then stands up and goes, "Oh, I ain't shooting blanks no more. I like it when they lay still like that."
Yeah, collective.
I was actually grossed out whenever the hanging judge walked out without the jawbone and he just had the flesh dangling around. I don't know why. It just grossed me. I didn't like it.
Like, there's also an impressive shot where like he like sits up and you see like the skeleton view and everything. That's fucking gross too, but also impressive.
No, that's with the ghosts, the practical effects that you see on these people. It looks super cool. Even whenever old Jake Busey is at the end and he's a blue little ghost guy and he's got the little burn mark on his head. I thought that was a cute touch.
Then the next thing I remember, there's a scene with babies. They're trying to get, like, his little ghost friends are trying to levitate babies and make this rich house like flip out and call, Ghost Inspector, Ghostbuster. I don't know.
Yeah.
Call him, and they do, and he gets there, and the jig is up. It's like, hey, this guy's a fraud. It's in the newspaper. This town's got a newspaper, and it's calling you a fraud. So
Jonah ran a smear piece on him.
Yeah. I think that's a case for libel, but, we'll roll with it.
I think it is.
But of course, the jig is up and everything, so, like, what better way to spend your time? Just go back to the graveyard or whatever.
Well, what it is, like, he walks out and he sees, like, death on a Metalhead's t-shirt or something, and then there's...
That was Peter Jackson, by the way.
Oh, was it?
100%. Then... Like, I saw him, like, fat man with a camera.
And then he almost gets hit by a hearse, and then he turns around and sees the girl from before, the not Julia Louis-Dreyfus looking lady, and is like, what's going on? Guess I'll just follow him up to this cemetery. It turns out it was her husband.
All at the same time, while, like, he notices that, like, that runner boy, like, he runs up to him as it goes. He's like, I can't be dead. I'm too fucking sexy for that, or something like that.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then.
Apparently, to signify death, you have nonstop watery allergy eyes, a runny nose, and drooling issues.
Well, in that case, like, the movie logic is iffy. Don't worry about it. But I think most of the time, as you appear as a ghost, is like how you died. So I guess he died crying, sniffling, or something.
Oh, well, no, because the other guys had it too. Even the dorky guy and Ghost Shaft.
Ghost Shaft.
Ghost Shaft. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, I do remember now that you say it. He says something like, "Oh, I can't be late for my own funeral," or something like that.
Canned laughter then ensues, and we follow to the graveyard where Arlie Emery is there, and he's like, "You bunch of little maggots."
I believe with 100% certainty that Peter Jackson's like, this is a direct sequel to Full Metal Jacket.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's 100% the same character as he was in Full Metal Jacket.
I will never get tired of him just tearing people apart because he's so goddamn good at it. Like, even though he's dead, he's like, I got a piece of dirt over here waiting right for you, you scumbag.
But that fucking line was so good because Michael J. Fox is like, just always. Why is everyone always picking on him through this fucking movie? Like, everyone's dumping on him.
It's just the way he carries himself. Like I tried to bring up earlier, like he's just so scummy looking. Like he's just kind of hobbling around town in his like big old fucking jack. It's like, hey, here's my card, No,
like I get it as far as Arlie Ermey goes. Like he's telling him, hey, you're not allowed in this graveyard. I've told you this before. Stay the fuck out of here, Michael J. Fox. And he's just like, hey, this isn't business. I'm here on a personal visit. But I guess because Michael J. Fox is always up there, scouting for new friends or whatever, recruits.
Yeah.
I need someone else spook a house for me on Wednesday.
Yeah, Arlie Ermey's just like, no, these motherfuckers belong in their graves.
They don't need to be out there being frighteners.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah!
Got him. Well, I mean, he got on his nerves so much, like Michael J. Fox tried to like throw some hands, and he's just like, "No, riot gear, bitch."
That's what I'm saying. Like, he punches the riot gear and hurts his hand. If Michael J. Fox could take his hand, show people before, and go, "Look at my knuckles," and then punch the air, and then people see his knuckles bash into nothing.
I feel like there's probably an easier way to do that where you don't get broken knuckles.
He could throw a quarter at it and it just stop in the air.
Let's go that route.
There we
Fair
go.
enough.
But yeah, okay. So now there's the funeral, and old girl's like, "Is my husband here? What does he say?" And he's like, "Tell her ditto." And
Yeah, like he does end up helping him out of this grave that I guess he almost got buried in forever. I don't know. Like, how does that work? Could he not just like get out?
It's another one of those things where like logic question mark, because like later in the movie when Michael J. Fox is a ghost, spoilers, like he's having trouble like walking through floors and shit, so it's probably like a will thing. But me realizing how much I'm talking about movie logic, that doesn't fucking matter.
Nope. But yeah, he ends up walking around with his new pal Michael J. Fox and you know, his wife, who just sort of immediately kind of start to hit it off, which seems awkward to me.
Because it turns out they had like they had a loveless marriage and whatever. She's on the rebound.
dude, I fucking started cracking up at the end whenever the wife was like, "Go have fun," and he's like, "Ooh."
Yes, I will.
He's just like immediately down there making out with old girl.
She was like, something, go sleep with that woman. And he was like, don't mind if I do.
Yep. All right. I gotta run. There's this thing that I gotta do back on Earth. But we'll talk later though, right?
He does a little phone thing. Call me.
Oh, he lands at the dinner table at medieval times.
Why did they go to medieval times?
I don't know. Is there charm there? Like, I would personally
No.
love to go, but like what they were sitting at was just like regular dining. It was weird.
It was so fucking strange because everyone in there is in full medieval garb. Every other guest except them. And they're just sitting there talking about her dead hubby.
And he's there. He is there as a ghost, like listening to the whole conversation. He's like, you know, he says that he loves you and all this stuff.
Seeing how much of a piece of shit that the runner man turned out to be, I kind of wish he was a little bit more brash. Like tell her she has nice tits, and he just has to say like, nah, he loves you. He said it.
She'll know it's me. Tell her about the tits. Tell her about the one that's too low. But I like that the first thing he does is like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I blew $16,000 of your money. No big deal."
Oh yeah.
But that's like the truth breaker or whatever, because like then like everything pours down. Like, oh yeah, that sounds like something he would do. Boy, am I happier now. Wink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your financials? Like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, you got a house? You're an architect? When's the last time you bought a house?
Do you have a retirement plan? Roth IRA?
Well, the ghost plan was just be like, hey, don't touch my wife's hand. Have some wine in the penis.
Have some wine in the penis. Now, think about this. You get splashed in the crotch by Ghost Swayze, who then runs away. And you have to go to the restroom to cock your leg up onto the sink to pat dry your crotch. All the meanwhile, the Grim Reaper has snuck into the room and killed an obese man.
Well, I mean, having used public bathrooms before, like, I expect much worse every time I go into the restroom.
Worse than the Grim Reaper?
I mean, he's not out for me. Chilling at that point.
Fair.
Eric don't fear the Reaper.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know who did? Fucking number 38, this obese guy.
He had it coming.
He had it coming.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper looks like one of those Dementors from Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah, like a Death Eater or something.
Mhm. Is it a Dementor or a Death Eater? Which one's which?
I mean, Dementor with the cloak, Death Eater with just Gary Busey's teeth.
Yeah, those teeth can eat just about anything. He looks like a fucking Death Eater named Radicate. And it's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing. We should move on.
Well, this whole shebang here is just to kind of incriminate Michael J. Fox because, you know, he walks into the restroom, old guy has a quote-unquote heart attack, and not only does he run away, he gets into his old fucking bug or whatever and starts willy-nilly driving through the dark neighborhood and yelling out his window,
And once the fat guy keels over, the police get involved. The police are like, all right, bring in this Bannister guy. Bring in Michael J. Fox. We got to do some questioning here. Meanwhile, he's getting chased by death.
Listen, this whole thing is a catalyst to bring the FBI into town because all these are like unsolved, mysterious murders that have been happening the past 4 or 5 years. And the guy that they call in is the most not Crispin Glover, but Crispin Glover guy that I can describe.
Oh, is that who you got? Because I got definite, trying to be Jim Carrey, but not quite. Like, I ordered Jim Carrey off Wish.com vibes.
Yeah, okay. There you
Good.
go. He's just like, not Fire Marshal Bill, but he's like Federal Agent Bill or something.
Yeah, he's got some real weird mannerisms, and I don't really even know why. Like, why is he the way that he is?
They give him so many character quirks, things to learn about him. He has one of the biggest reveals in this entire movie, and his character is absolutely unnecessary. And I even like the guy from Reanimator as he tries to be Jim.
Listen, man, the fact that you called him unnecessary is so true. He is absolutely entirely too extra for this movie. Because, like, we have, like, the regular plot, and, like, Michael J. Fox is against the running clock. He's trying to save these people. And, like, as a sub-antagonist, this dude is just there to give me anxiety. Just by being there.
Yeah, he's not quite an antagonist exactly. He is, but he's, like, he plays the part of a foil that doesn't really need to be there. And if he is there, he just needs less of everything. Like, he doesn't need to be the cable guy. Just make him, like, I don't know, the sheriff from The Fourth Kind or something. Just make him be an asshole or something. He doesn't need to be all wacky.
But at the same time, I was just thoroughly entertained. Like, every time he's on the screen, I'm like, what is he going to do now? Because every time he had something different to give me.
Yeah, next time he's going to be asking you to play Porno Password or something.
Oh, shit. Now, I will say that when he was on screen, I did pay attention. But by the end of it, he's revealed all this shit about himself. Yeah. And you go, okay, where is this going? I'm interested. And then, you know, spoilers, I'm jumping ahead in the movie or whatever. They blow his fucking head off and you go, what the fuck? Like, he had an arc. He was somebody. I know more about him than I do Michael J. Fox, and you just killed him.
Speaking of what we know about Michael J. Fox, we do get a scene that is pretty much entirely exposition. We just get a little bit of his background to find out how he came to become what he is now. He worked for an architecture company. He'd been drinking one night on the job. He had an argument with his wife, whatever. His wife wanted to build a garden on this house. He wanted to build a basketball court, whatever. At one point in time, it becomes the last time that you ever see them together because he gets ran off the road. And she's found 15 feet from the car dead.
Not only dead, but found with a little Z cut in her forehead.
Goddamn right. Teen Wolf can't handle his alcohol. He was like, listen, I'm going to fucking put hands on you. Ow! If we don't put up that basketball hoop.
Ow.
Yeah, she does have the number 13 carved into her head. I guess we'll figure out. Do we know what that means yet? I don't remember. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, he starts to figure it out because the movie just goes into a quick succession of people dying. You get number 38, 39, and 40, which happens to be the newspaper lady, number 40, at the museum. And Death is there. Jake Fox runs in and is like, hey, look out. And she's like, get out of here. You're a killer. And he's like, woo.
I think your voice there is a little bit more Mickey Mouse than what I heard. I remember just Maud Lebowski.
And we get like the next 2 or 3 deaths, but they kind of don't make sense because like everybody thinks it's Michael J. Fox, like clearly in the same bathroom. But not only does he walk in late on like the one guy that dies, like the guy who wrote the splash piece about him, like he wasn't even there. He showed up later, which is suspicious, but like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, when there's that many people that die and you're the one that like could gain the most from their deaths, I don't know. Shit's kind of suspicious that you would just happen to show up at this gala, which you definitely were not invited to.
He then proceeds to knock her out and take her hostage.
I don't want to kill you, love. I just want to punch you right in the face.
And these cops are witnessing literal paranormal activity.
Oh, for sure. Like after the judge starts fucking around with like the sarcophagus or whatever, there's just shit flying everywhere. The sarcophagus like floats up and like manages to scoop up Michael J. Fox and get him out of the way.
And the mummy comes to life. Well, I mean, it's
No.
being framed to life, but they puppet
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
and they have to shoot at the shit. And then everyone's like, nope, it's just Michael J. Fox. Nothing strange here.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's doing something. It must be like a hologram or special effects or something.
Goddamn Ouija boards.
The Ouija boards.
It's his tomfoolery. Get him.
Yeah. Woo.
But yeah, Michael J. Fox just like, I guess, turns himself in, but not really, because like, you know, he hasn't done anything. They honestly don't have any proof, so I guess he just kind of like trying to cut out the middleman at this point.
No,
But
they start gaslighting him in the interrogation after he turns himself in. And they're like, you are the killer. And suddenly he goes, maybe I am the killer, even though it's obvious you're not, buddy. Why are you breaking down?
Yeah, and the Elaine woman is still there at the police station, and she starts defending him and everything. It's like, no, you know, he's legit and everything. And Michael J. Fox is just like, no, I'm not legit. Everything that I told you before is bullshit.
His little spiel, right? Just like, I never liked you anyway. Get out of here, sport. And she's just like, huh, makes me even hornier. I'm gonna do some investigation work at the old haunted house.
And speaking of haunted houses, what I've got here today is from Allagash Brewing Company. This is called Haunted House. A little bit on the nose, I feel like, but this is 6.66% alcohol by volume. They call it a hoppy dark ale, and it's actually a bit darker than I expected. I was thinking this would be like a black IPA or something along those lines, but no, this is definitely more akin to like a porter. Got a lot of like roasty character, just like you would have in a porter. It's maybe not quite as thick and heavy as a porter, but you do have some of those like a good dry hoppy backbone, which I really like on a dark beer. I feel like a lot of like porters and stouts end up really overdoing the sweetness and laying back on the hops and leaving things a little bit off balance. This does not. This has got a good balance of sweetness, that dry, roasty character, almost nuttiness, and then that backbone of hops just to balance everything out. This is very good. Ooh.
But now you're out of your haunted house. This girl is running into the haunted house. And there's a pallbearer urn just chilling on this display.
I don't know.
Yeah, good. And you see it. And as soon as you see it, you go, okay.
All right, that's something.
Yes.
And I know this bit isn't for the characters, it's for the audience, but man, Elaine gets real fucking dumb in this house, and it annoys the piss out of me.
And this is kind of the moment, like, these are the scenes through here that transition from this being a horror comedy to really just being a horror movie from here on out.
To me, it's got a few more, like, really weird comedic moments more than, like, funny comedic moments. You end up laughing for the wrong reasons, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go from seeing a man's ironclad nipples to him just get his head blown right the fuck off.
Yes, he's got
because
that.
Why not? Yeah.
It's fucking weird. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that because that character is a ton of fun, and I just wish that he had a point to the movie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, she's in this house. She's got the urn, or she looks at the urn, and she's about to get killed, and it's like, oh no! And fake Ray Liotta is there, and he somehow stops the Grim Reaper for just a moment, but then he ends up a literal flesh sack on the hood of the car.
I guess he tried to save the day, but immediately got his face torn off and turned into goob.
And the whole reason that she ended up going back to this house was she was actually investigating Michael J. Fox's house, trespassing. But yeah, and she overhears a message being left on his answering machine because this was 1995. And the message was the old lady from this house from before, you know, the old spooky lady, is saying, hey, my daughter is communicating with the evil one or something like that.
You know, I think you stumbled onto something because there's a very large disconnect between the information we have with Gary Busey's character and what like Michael J. Fox knows. And the way she sounded on the answering machine is like, oh, this happens all the time. It's like, oh, I need you back over here for some paranormal shit. So yeah, that's actually kind of odd. I feel like there would be some like prior knowledge here.
And at this point in the movie, I'm still thinking, hey, this old lady is up to no good. Like, she's trying to lure somebody in for some kind of a spell or something. She's doing something in cahoots with the devil. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know about you guys. That's what I'm thinking.
Mama said you were the devil.
To quote that old little Spanish boy in that horror movie that I can't remember the name of, Demon!
Demon! But now Elaine has made it back to the jail, and she's like, I want to hang out with Michael J. Fox. Let me in the Teen Wolf. And the cards, of course. And Grim Reaper shows up, and nerdy ghost guy somehow saved the day with nerdy ghost guy getting killed. But this also facilitates a jailbreak from Michael J. Fox.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak.
Yeah, like who knew that like all you needed was a swift kick to the door to escape jail.
That's it. Kick the door, walk out the next door, jump in your little yellow hoopty, and
Listen, this is a small town. They can't really afford much. That jail door hasn't been replaced since 1946.
It goes by old-timey rules. Kick the door, in jail no more. Classic.
That's how you get the get out of jail free card, right?
Michael J. Fox was going to use the get jail free card real fucking quick. He's like, all right, babe, I know that we just met, but I love you, and I'm going to blow my brains out so I can fight the Grim Reaper for you.
How fucking metal is that, by the way?
Well, did we talk about the like everything that happened with Elaine or whatever her name is at the spooky house? Did we talk about actually what happened there? Because shit gets a little wild. Okay, Elaine runs in and the daughter is in there, and the daughter, I forget what the daughter says, but she's just like, all right, we should go to the police now. Shit's getting wacky.
Oh yeah. And unbeknownst to her, oh no, she was actually evil all along, and it was the mom holding everything together. Oh, by the way, she's been slaughtered.
Yeah, okay. There's a thing I wanna call back to a little bit later, just here in a minute. He talks about going for number 41. Okay, if they're combining the kill counts of both of them, including the mother would be 41 and she would be 42.
Well, the thing is, Elaine was supposed to be 40 this whole time. So, like, they didn't get to axe her, killed the mom, so that would be 40 instead.
She's still ghost marked.
So 40 never happened?
The intentional 40 didn't happen.
Okay, all right. I'm not really sure how all this happened. You have to mark it before it happens, before it counts. So if you don't mark, let's say you don't mark number 40, and then the next one, do you go to mark that one as number 40 and just don't count the one that you just killed before?
Well, you see, when Biff took the almanac and stole the DeLorean to go back to 1955, the timeline changed. So number 40 is now a different person.
Yeah, all right. That's a reasonable explanation for me. I accept it.
That's when the Terminator walks in and he's like, are you Michael J. Fox? No, but Michael J. Fox is like, I'm going to kill myself. She's like, no. I know a different way to kill you. Come to me. We're going to go to Hardee's. And they go to Hardee's and he gets locked up in the Hardee's meat freezer.
Wait, what? Like, I remember them going to was it a doctor? Yeah, it would have been a doctor's office. Was this at a Hardee's? A Denny's?
I mean, something like
that.
Denny's? Well, I mean, like, he gets stored in, like, one of those cold storage places where they keep blood and sperm samples and stuff, but, like, I get it. You know, it looks like in the back of a Wendy's.
I need to know, is there, like, a lumberjack slam somewhere, anywhere? Because if he wakes up, he's going to be hungry.
Well, that's the thing. He wakes up dead.
All right, yeah, so she puts some shit into Michael J. Fox, freezes him, puts him in a freezer for a while, just to make him, like, almost dead, just to get the spirit to come out of him a little bit, just to lure it out.
That's pre-soul.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I guess he, like, starts following, like, the Grim Reaper around town because ghosts can fly. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but his flying is so almost Peter Pan-y.
Yeah.
He's like, whee!
And he winds up falling back to the graveyard where we were before, but this time we get to see all the ghosts and ghouls that live there.
I think that this is like a missed opportunity because, again, this has had like the undertone of comedy the whole time. Mm-hmm. If everyone's out like doing nightlife stuff, you got one dude like raving on a grave, the other dude's like busting out fucking mad sit-ups or something.
That's pretty good. They actually just all kind of came out in the very somber, like, hey, thanks for feeding the shit out of Gary Busey's son.
He was pivotal to the routing of the insects on Planet Deku or whatever, Starship Troopers.
You got a knife in the hand. Oh.
Yeah, and meanwhile, old girl, Elaine, Patricia, I don't know, too many people in the... Elaine. We are with Elaine, and Elaine is getting sort of arrested by that Wish.com Jim Carrey guy. Apprehended, kidnapped.
Like, I understand why he did that, but man, he was coming off really rapey. I
yes.
didn't appreciate it.
Also, something I just want to call out, when he gets in the car, turns on the radio, It's Sonic Youth's cover of Superstar by the Carpenters. Such
yeah.
a fucking random song to throw on here.
Well, you see, covers are less expensive than the original, and we'll find that out when the credits roll.
We sure will.
I thought he was, because he walks to the front of the car and he's like having a moment, like a weird fucking moment. He's like,
Yeah.
my body's roadmap of pain, and he shows you his skin, which is, I don't know, maybe he's like a culty or some shit. Cut his
Yeah.
nipples off, kinds of weird stuff.
Well, what they say about him in the very beginning, like when we first meet him, is that he spent the last 20 years working for the FBI, working with like the occult and different like cult factions and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he himself even made that point. He's like, they give me all the fruity cases. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
bud.
He's sitting there, he starts doing some Crocodile Dundee wiggle his hand shit at his car, and Michael J. Fox is there driving it away, and he thinks he's doing it with his mind.
So wait, is that what happens in Crocodile Dundee? Because I was getting more of like a Buffalo Bob kind of thing from it.
Oh yeah, like fucking,
Buffalo Bob, Buffalo Bill. What's his name? Silence of the Lambs.
you got Q Lazarus playing on the radio.
Goodbye. That's what should have been playing, not fucking Superstar. Should have been playing Goodbye Horses.
Well, just
Good.
like that point, Michael J. Fox gets interrupted by fucking Grim Reaper just stealing him out of that fucking car.
They have that comical Looney Tunes fight in the road.
Yeah, like
Is-
he fully embraces his ghost powers suddenly for whatever reason.
Is that when Michael J. Fox just like spawns a couple of guns? Like I don't. Are those like Tommy guns or?
Those are really armies.
Yeah.
I missed some parts of this movie. I will tell you, I missed some parts.
Mid scuffle, he does get, kind of cleaved in half, but that's okay. This is
Okay.
a direct sequel to Full Metal Jacket.
He went
Okay,
down
so-
in that one and his career got better. He went down in this one and his career got better.
Oh yeah. But
My-
either way, Michael J. Fox ends up with a couple of guns, just like I don't know what they are, Tommy guns, Gatling guns. I don't know what they are, but
They're like
Phil's fucking Grim Reaper full of lead.
good old LMGs, and he has God mode on because that is infinite fucking ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Ammo is something everyone has in this. Like the shotgun finale, she fires like 80 times.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So all right, once this happens, we get all that's left is just a mushy face of Death, the Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call him, just like a mushy, bloody face. And it turns out it's that Johnny Bartlett guy all along.
Like he's slapping the face around. He's like, "Oh my god, that's Jake Busey."
Another moment
And-
of comedic gold could have happened there where they slap and it just turns into other people's faces for no good reason, and they say some line like, "Hi, I'm Vince from Slap Shop."
No, what should have happened is, all right, so he's just a face right now, but he kind of escapes through the little cracks in the sidewalk. What should have happened is like his teeth should have gotten stuck.
Oh,
Oh.
that's good. All of this is way better than what happened because like they fall into that crypt,
Mhm.
and poor dead Michael J. Fox has to fight the world's worst computer generated effect.
This is what I was talking about, where the CGI is so bad I don't actually know what's going on.
You're like, oh my god, is he beating up a burn victim?
Is he a burn victim? I can't tell anymore. It's very like Spawn. Like the bad
Oh,
CGI on
yes.
Spawn reminds me a lot of this.
Pretty sure I saw good old Michael J. Fox clip through that other guy.
Oh, fact, dude, I guarantee it. I know CGI gets dated due to time, but man, when you see this bit, it's jarringly bad.
Yes.
Hey, we need a fight scene with like the devil or something and Michael J. Fox. You have 4 hours.
Go. Do it. So now they have to make it to this hospital because they brought Michael J. Fox back and got these urns with the ashes, and then we're going to throw them in a church.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got fucking Bartlett's ashes. They know that he's been the bad guy all along now. It's all him.
Yeah.
Got to take those ashes and like consecrate them, or I don't know, some Christian thing that I don't really know about. They're gonna do that to him.
It's like classic occult stuff. It's like, oh, we need to end everything by. Even the FBI guy says it's like, oh, you're gonna put this in a chapel so all the evil stuff goes away. Boo hoo. It's exactly that. But
Yeah, that's what we need to do. You got any holy water? Mix it up, make a little like ash holy water mud.
but what I don't understand is like, this town is fairly small. Why not? Whatever.
Uh-huh.
How come like the only chapel that Elaine can think of is in the old fucking broke ass hospital that's seemingly not too far away?
That is
Also,
100% a set from Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, as soon as I saw it, I went, okay, That's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Also, it just happened to coincidentally be where this murder spree started for Johnny Bartlett.
Ah, yes. It rhymes like poetry.
Look at it. It's come full circle.
He's not the only one coming full circle, am I right?
Are you talking about that guy who got his head busted off?
Oh, fucking Mr. FBI guy.
Jesus.
He's for whatever reason being super dick guy. He's dumped out the ashes. He's taken Elaine hostage. She whoops his ass, no problem, and runs away. Michael J. Fox lucks into the best double homicide you've ever seen. Like,
Oh, it's beautiful, actually. Like we get like a little setup, like as he's walking through the hospital trying to find the chapel. There's like a little divot in the ground. He's like, "Oh, oops, almost tripped on that. I hope that doesn't come to me as a convenience here in 10 minutes."
Right.
But it does. He walks around the corner, and you got FBI guys like, "Oh, boo-hoo, I spilled the ashes." Like, well, now I'm gonna kill you because I have an Uzi for no reason.
Right. No, like the line. This is one of those lines that you're talking about that, like, we're still getting comedic value. I don't know that it's intentional, but this is still comedic value. But Michael J. Fox tells the guy, he's like, you're an asshole. Yes, I am an asshole with an Uzi.
Dude, that sounds like a line straight out of Black Dynamite or something.
man, Black Dynamite. Anyways, so Michael J. Fox gets shot a little bit, and he falls through this hole in the ground to where the mom from Critters just runs down there, no issue. And she's like, "All right, now you and Elaine are here. I'm going to beat both your asses. Get out here, Ghost Jake Busey." He's like, "Oh, I'm back. Look at me. I'm just blue now, and I'm going to jump on the lady." Michael J. Fox to death.
Actually, I wonder what this scene would look like from Elaine's perspective, because she's getting held down by nothing.
Pretty weird, probably. Like, you couldn't even look at your attacker, so you would have to focus on the mom from Critters.
But hey, look, movie logic's run out. She's out of ammo. Oh, she can't blow away Michael J. Fox. What is she gonna do? Just go over to this little knife store that's just there, full of sharp things.
So I went to the knife store, got myself a knife. Ha 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 ha.
But she chokes him the fuck out, and he's dead. And right before she can put this mattock through Elaine, there comes a goddamn Teen Wolf as a ghost, and he snatches the soul out of this woman as heaven pulls him upwards.
Can we talk about that? Could they do that the whole fucking time?
What I'm saying?
Like a ghost snatched a person's ghost out of their body.
Like when this happened, I was like, where did this lore come from? Is this real? Can they do? What are the rules here? I don't know. Do we have rules?
Yeah,
This is not Vietnam, Smokey.
Instead of squeezing people's hearts, why wasn't he just pulling out their souls? Like, that could have been a very interesting transition. What if you're just a lonely ghost? Can you just fucking pull somebody out of their body?
Oh, I guess we fucking know.
So
Oh, she's
can ghosts fuck other ghosts in this world?
I
We saw a ghost fucking a skeleton or a mummy.
That's a lot, actually. Because, like, they go up into heaven, they're like, wow, the babes are real nice.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, are they just banging each other, smoking cigars, looking like that Chubbs moment from Happy Gilmore?
Well, no, we found out that they can't smoke cigars because in the beginning he's like, yeah, but just blow it in my face a little bit.
when he's in heaven, he needs to, though. Now, Michael J. Fox pulls them up into the sky beam of the Lord. And as they're going up, Michael J. Fox just hangs on long enough. That way, hell, which is apparently an anus infested with pinworms, devours Jake Busey and his shotgun sweetie.
Yeah, that's the express train to hell. There's no ticket checks, or I don't remember what he says there, but the reveal is like, oh, I'm cool. I'm up here.
Well, I mean, that computer-generated effect just took him right to the end of Spawn.
Yeah, it was real bad, too. It was bad.
Oh, shit. But now he's in heaven. And he goes, you know what would be really great? And he's like, what's that? And she says, if you would go bang Elaine. He goes, say less. Dives out of heaven.
He's already on the descent.
His dead wife is there and just lays it out like, hey, go have fun, nudge, nudge. Get back down there. It's not your time yet.
Yeah, and he McFlies right back down to Earth. It's like, whew, I just got the hall pass. Let's go.
And the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it ends. Michael J. Fox and Elaine just down there having a little picnic as... What house was that gets demolished? Was it the old lady's house?
The one he built with his wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess it was like a symbol of him just like leaving the old behind. Just like, fuck it, moving on.
I don't need my dead wife that just told me I could fuck this new girl whose husband actually just died 2 days ago. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I just hope he yelled that as the house gets torn down. That's just him, just airing it out.
It's just like some Morty exposition. Rick, I'm just gonna bang this girl I just met.
And just to wrap it up, we actually get to know that she can see ghosts now too. So it's a very nice coupling, I guess. I don't know. They're meant for each other.
I guess beforehand they didn't stand a ghost of a chance.
Oh.
Same.
So man, this was a movie, wasn't it? Peter Jackson doing a horror comedy, mostly horror, maybe like 40% comedy. I feel like it really needed to pick a lane. If it picked a lane, either one, horror or comedy, it would be better at either one of those. As it is, it was still fine. I was entertained through it. It's not great. Some of the special effects are absolutely terrible, but I don't really have any complaints other than that. I give it like a solid 6 out of 10.
Damn, you got like stars.
I mean, I'm kind of unborn. Like, I would give it a mediocre score like that too, but like, I just enjoy the goofiness of it all. Like, there's something entirely off kilter about this movie that just has me watching every so often, because like that old style Peter Jackson stuff is just really just kooky, altogether ooky, and it's as bizarre as it is entertaining.
To me, it's got a lot of charm. You can see the love, like literally. There's so much care to every little detail whenever they're in the medieval restaurant, whenever they're at the museum. But minus a few CGI scenes, this is really fun to look at. The acting in here, I won't say it's top notch, but it's definitely enough to keep you watching. I laughed at several scenes. If I had to give it a star, I'd probably go with a 6, just like Chan Man, leaning a little bit more to the 5, just because I wish that it would have had more of a arc to it, other than, I guess, Michael J. Fox's bit.
Well, there you have it. That was The Frighteners. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons too. Hit the little bell icon as well, so you know next time we got another one of these brewing up.
Follow us on all of our social medias. We got an Instagram, a Facebook, a Reddit, a Twitter. We're clearly on the YouTubes. We have Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thanks to the Anchor app. So there's no reason you guys aren't listening to us. Take a look. If not, we'll get Jake Busey to bite you.
Ew.
Nom, 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 nom.